What's happening, family? This is your boy Creative. We're back at it again to create something great. Today, I am excited. I have a cool project, an outstanding project, a phenomenal project for you all, and I'm excited to be able to bring this to you today. Today, we have another algo build. And remember, we've been doing this consistently for the past 2.5, 3 weeks, right? Where we have an idea, we let that idea germinate for a little bit, and then go ahead and research that idea, and then create a algorithmic trading bot, right, that can automate our options trading. So a little bit about me. My name is Creative. I've been doing coding, right, or I've been coder, developer, programmer, whatever adjective you want to give there, since April of this year. So I've only been doing it for about 6, 7 months, right? But when it comes to finance, right, when it comes to investing, right, I've been like most of you, right? I've been hand trading. I'll go look at SPY, right, and I'll say, all right, SPY's jumping right now, and I see an opportunity for us to be able to not only invest in, and remember, SPY is the S&P 500. It is the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. And here's an example of the holdings, right? Some of the holdings within SPY, right? So when I say SPY, I'm talking about the S&P 500. We have Nvidia, we have Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Broadcom, Facebook, right? This one is Google, Tesla, and this alphabet is YouTube, right? Then we have Berkshire Hathaway, right? So this is just some of the top holdings of SPY as of the 28th of October, right? So the reason I like to use SPY is because it allows us to be able to be invested in all of these companies, right? Because SPY is an ETF. And remember, ETF is an exchange traded fund. So when we think of an ETF, think of a quilt, right? And each one of these quilts represents a different companies. So if we weren't buying SPY, right, what we had to do, I had to go buy Nvidia. I got to go buy Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, so on and so forth, right? So what SPY enables us to do is to be invested in all these companies, right? And it's 500 of them invested in all these companies while just owning SPY. So that's why I like trading SPY. And what we're going to be building is a zero DTE option scalping strategy. All right, so let's just break down the words real quick. Excuse me. So yeah, y'all can give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Let me check my levels. My level says I'm Gucci. So if you can't hear me, let me know. And if you can't see, let me know as well. And we will update that accordingly. So hold on. I just want to make sure one thing, and I'm pretty sure I did it. I trust myself. Beautiful. I did it. All right. So let's keep going. And again, if there's anything wrong with the stream, just let me know and I'll update it accordingly. So what we're going to be building is a zero DTE strategy, and what that tells us is these are strategies that expire the same day. So we're buying an option contract, right? So what is an option, right? So an option contract is like a coupon that lets us buy or sell stock for a fixed price. So when we see fixed price, so all that's telling us that's a strike price, right? So that's the price that we think that the option is going to be worth once it reaches a certain date, right? And that certain date is the expiration date, right? So an option contract is like a coupon, right? That allows you to buy or sell a stock at a fixed price before a certain date without actually having to own it. So that's why I love option contracts, right? Because let's say if I just wanted one excuse me, I was doing QQQ earlier. That's why I was tripping on QQQ. So right now I'm looking at TradingView, right? And remember, each one of these candles represents 1 minute because we only use 1 minute charts, right? I mean, we can use 5 minutes, 2 minutes, right? But I found a lot of success with being able to use 1 minute charts. So each one of these candles represents 1 minute, right? So if we, what am I talking about? Oh, owning it. I was talking about TradingView. Sorry. So if we wanted to purchase SPY right now, it'll cost us $600, right? Just to purchase one SPY, right? Now remember, one option contract equals 100 shares, right? So what an option enables us to do is to purchase 100 shares of SPY at a fraction of the price, right? That's where that fixed price for a certain amount of time. And this is going to give us the right, if we want to, right? We don't always want to, but if we want to, we can execute it, right? So we can purchase those 100 shares of SPY. That's if we want to, but we don't have to, right? Normally, what we're going to be in this option contract now, and that's why it says scalping, right? Scalping, what that denotes is that we're going to be in and out very, very quickly. So what does that mean? We're probably going to be holding these contracts for a minimum of like 15 minutes, max, excuse me, of 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we're out. All right, y'all give me a moment. I'll be right back. I appreciate y'all's patience. I just had to, never mind, you don't care. But nonetheless, we're back to talk about our scalping strategy. Remember, our scalping strategy denotes that we're going to be in and out of this thing for a maximum out of 15 minutes. So we talked about our option contract, the one share. So there's going to be two types of option contracts that we're going to be doing here, right? Excuse me. The first one is going to be a call option. Now, a call option gives us the right. Remember, we talked about buying and selling. So let's break that down. So a call option, right, gives us the right to buy a stock at a set price, the strike price, right? And the reason you're buying that call option is because you think that the market will go down, right? What am I talking? I'm sorry. I'm trying to do two things at once. So the reason you're going to buy the call option, right, is because you think that the market might go up, not down. Excuse me. You're bullish on it, right? So we think that the price in the market might go up. So call option equals bullish, and this we think that the price in the market might go up, right? So when stock prices go up, call options go up. So you see that correlation there? So when the stock price go up, the call option goes up. All right. And then we have our put option. The put option is the right to sell a stock at a set price. You think that the market might go down, right? So we're bearish on it, right? Beautiful. We're bearish on it. So put option equals bearish, right? And this, we think that the price of the market might go down, right? So when the stock price goes down, put options go up, right? But there's a little caveat here. Not all put options are bad and not all call options are good, right? But we're going to be able to suss that out as we go through our strategy here. So I'm going to be using cursor, right? So as you can see here, in addition to that, I'm going to be using ChatGPT. I should have, just in case, fam. Let me just do it one more time. so I can really make sure you can see. So I'm going to be using Cursor and ChatGPT in order to. So Cursor is going to be our code editor. This is where we're actually going to write the code. ChatGPT is going to help us, like, okay, process the idea and being able to work out our strategy. Now I have a start of a strategy, right? In essence, like how I think I want this to go, and this is based off of our other bot, and we have a bot right now that is running. Boom. Now you can see it. So we have our lotto bot. So I just want to bring this to attention now because the other ones, they stopped running like 20 minutes ago. So let's zoom in our lotto bot so you can see it. So our lotto bot is running live. So what it does, it's looking for 0 DTE options, right? And this is market regime specific. Now remember, we talked about being market regime specific, market regime agnostic. So this bot is looking for very particular items within the market, and it's been running all morning. Right? If you go watch our other stream, you'll see that this bot has been running all morning. So we're paper trading it. We're only trading SPY, and it is a momentum breakout bot, right? So what it's doing, it's looking for momentum within SPY. So let's go back to our support and resistance graph, right, that we made earlier. So remember, resistance is the ceiling, support is the floor, right? So let's call this SPY, right? So what we're looking for within our lotto bot is we're trying to, within the past 5 minutes, and remember, maybe I should just do the example here. Remember, each one of these bars represents, each one of these candles represents a minute. So what our lotto bot is doing, it's looking at the past 5 candles. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's live, so that's why we have another one just created because the market is open right now. So each one of these candles represents a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then what it's doing is looking to see, okay, you know, is there a breakout that we can take advantage of? And a breakout is denoting that, okay, we want to see the price increase by 0.02 or 0.03%. Right? And once we see that increase by 0.03%, now I want to make sure that there's volume behind it. So I don't just want to see a price movement, but I want to see volume behind it. And the reason we want to see price movement and volume is because the price movement could just be a fake out. It could just be a false signal. Okay, a price move, great, right? But if you have that volume behind it, now you have a double confirmation. So those are our indicators, right? So we're not using EMA, we're not using MACD, I'm not using Bollinger Bands, I'm not using VWAP. Reason being so is because those are lagging indicators. We want indicators that are a little bit more real time. So that's why we're going to use a price indicator and a volume indicator. I understand that the volume, right? Why not use VWAP? I just told you it's lagging, right? So it's a little too slow for what we're doing here, right? So as soon as it sees the breakout, then it's going to say, okay, you know what? Is it a breakout or a breakdown, right? And then how VIX comes into play is this bot only trades between VIX 16 and I think the highest will go is 31. Now let's talk about VIX and what VIX is, right? Remember, VIX is a volatility index. It's a fear index, right? For a little bit more common nomenclature, right? So that volatility index, what it's telling us is like, okay, is the market scared? If the market is scared, what is it expecting? Is it expecting a big move? Is it expecting a big drop, right? Is it expecting calm conditions, right? Is it expecting just to go sideways, right? So it'll go up a little bit, go down a little bit, go up a little bit, go down a little bit. That's sideways, right? So a VIX between 10 and 15, right? Those are calm conditions, right? So we have a low VIX. We have a VIX that is telling us, okay, you know what? We can go into the market and not really expect that big of a swing, right? So anywhere between 15 and let's call it 23, 24, even 25, right? I'm going to call it elevated, right? And the reason I'm going to call it elevated because 25 or higher, you better know what you're doing because the market is expecting something big to happen, whether it's, all right, I really hope y'all can hear me because, hold on. All right, perfect. I just checked my levels. You should be able to hear me. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me. That'll be great. All right. So a VIX of 25 is letting you know that the market is expecting something big to happen, whether it's a big drop, right? Whether it's a big climb. Now, normally with VIX and SPY, the S&P 500, right? VIX and SPY has a inverse relationship. Not all the times, but 75 to 80% of the chance. there is this inverse relationship, meaning that if we see VIX pop, we're normally going to see SPY drop, right? And if we see SPY pop, we're normally going to see VIX drop, right? So that's why I'm using these as confirmation. Okay, I only trade, this bot only trades, right, when there's calm conditions, calms to a little bit of volatility. We don't want that much volatility. And remember, volatility is what's going on right now in the market, and this is an asset, right, specifically created so we can be able to gauge what's going on right now in the market. So this is our real-time gauge to say, okay, you know what? It's a little bit elevated because it's at 16 right now, so our bot should be able to go without a problem. Now, our bot has been running all morning and it hasn't found a trade. So what I'm going to do, and that's what prompted me to say, okay, you know what? I want to create a version of this bot that's a little bit more aggressive, right? But that only scalps. So this is our lotto bot, and the lotto bot is looking for home runs, right? In the sense of like, all right, I'm going to buy an option for $10, and I'm trying to see if I can take that from $10 to $100, right? Or from 10 to 50, right? But what I want to do, so that's 120, 140% returns, right? It is possible, but you have to wait for the right setup. So that's what this bot is doing, wait for the right setup. So what we're going to do, I'm going to stop this bot, and we're going to create another one, right? Another bot that's just like this lotto bot, but it scalps, right? So I'm looking for these quick 10 to 20% wins, right? I'm looking for, okay, I'm in for 5-10 minutes. I made 20%. Let me get out, right? So if we can have a bot that already has our home run hitter, right, and then run that in adjacent to a scalping bot, I think that's a great way to be able to start to, piece by piece, being able to automate your trading, right? So again, I'm stopping our lotto bot. I have a couple of things that I want to review in said bot, so that's why I'm stopping it. Now I'm getting, okay. All right, so that's why I'm stopping the bot, and then we are going to actually start creating our new bot, right? So let's talk a little bit about, before we even go to ChatGPT, let's talk a little bit about the parameters, right? So I want to say params, but they're parameters slash config for our algo bot, right? So entry, right? How we get into trade, right? How we get into a trade. So this is going to be a scalping bot, meaning we are having a max hold time of 12 to 15 minutes, depending on backtest results. Now remember what backtest is, right? Backtest equals a time machine for our trading strategy. Strategy. All right, strategy. There, I did not spell that right. Can you get me right? There we go. So a backtest is a time machine for our trading strategy. So what we're doing is that we're taking our strategy, we're dropping it in 2024, and I want to see how it performs. Then we're going to take our strategy, drop it in 2023, see how it performs, so on and so forth. Now we may go back to 22, right? Just so we can have 3 years of coverage for our strategy to test how it works in different regimes, different markets, different time periods, right? So we're not overfitting the strategy. So what does overfitting mean? Overfitting means making your strategy, if I can spell, that'll be Gucci. Strategy, and I know that I spelled that right, only work in very specific conditions. What do I mean by that? So we're back testing our strategy, right, in 2024. So let's say you only back tested your strategy in 2024, right, and you optimize the strategy. Optimization means being able to adjust the configurations or parameters of your strategy. I promise one of these days I'm going to spell it right. Spelling is not the name of the game here. The name of the game is being able to code something great, right? So Don't hold me. Don't get me wrong. Spelling is not the name of the game. All right, so optimization means being able to adjust the configurations or parameters of your strategy, right? So overfitting means making your strategy only works for very specific conditions. Meaning, if we only backtest our strategy in 2024, right, then we optimize our strategy to make sure that it excels and it performs well only in 2024. Then we go drop it in paper testing. And remember, paper testing. So the difference between backtesting and in paper testing. Paper testing equals trading in current conditions with paper money. And we do this, right? And the reason we do this is because we want to be able to see, okay, you know what? We back test it with historical data, a time machine for our strategy, testing on historical data. So a time machine for our strategy testing on historical data, right? And this is trading in current conditions, right? So this is present data. Present data. And you'll see how the two works, right? How we're going to be able to paper test, and I just showed you a paper test, but you'll see a real one, how we're going to paper test, and then how we're going to back test. So we're going to do all this later today, and I'm excited for you all to see that. So, all right. Let's go over our parameters. Let me just make sure it's black. It is black. All right. So the parameters I'm thinking about is max hold time, 12 to 15 minutes, right? And then we are going to look back 3 to 5 candles. So let's do 3 candles. And remember, excuse me, every candle represents a minute. So if I'm looking back 3 candles, how many minutes I'm looking back? 3, right? If I'm looking back 10 candles, how many minutes am I looking back? 10, right? If I'm looking back 20 candles, how many candles am I looking back? 20, right? All right, perfect. So I just want us to be able to get in that framework. So if I say I'm looking back 3 candles, I'm looking back 3 minutes, right? 3 candles, 3 minutes. Looking back 3 candles and find, looking back 3 candles for price movement of 0.0003%, right? And SPY. And then also let me put plus, right? We want our volume confirmation of 2.5 times, right? So our max hold time is 12 to 15 minutes, and this is depending on our back test. The way that we're going to, this is enter, right? And I know I wrote it up here, but we talked about that up there. All right, cool. This is enter our trade. Max hold time 12 to 15, right? We're going to look back 3 minutes for price movement of 0.003 and SPY. And then we're also looking for volume confirmation, right? VIX range. We're going to do 12 to 38. Now, the reason I'm doing 12 to 38, now remember we talked about our VIX ranges, anything between 10 to 15, we have calm, anywhere between 15 to 25, we have elevated, and 25 to 30, we have slightly higher. Okay, 25 to 30, I'm going to say high VIX, right? And then 30 plus, we're in chaos, meaning that the market is expecting something big to happen, whether that's going to be a bullish move or a bearish move, right? Remember, we talked about that. Bullish move means we think the market or the price might go up. A bearish move is that we think the market or the price might go down, right? So when VIX is above 30, right, that is we're expecting a big move to happen, right? So that's why I want to catch some of this move, but also want us to be able to have our risk management. So what is our risk management saying, right? So this is our entry. So I'm good with this for the entry. What do you all think, right? I think this is good to be able to have that start as an entry, right? So then let's talk about our risk management. Risk management, right? I want to be able to introduce a MRE. What is a MRE? Momentum reversal exit, right? And what a momentum reversal exit is saying that, hey, within the first 90, let's give it 120 seconds of the trade, if the peak price drops, no, within the first, no, let's make this super more basic. Within the first 120 seconds of the trade, if the trade goes negative of, let's do 3%, 3% or greater, sell, exit, right? So that's our MRE. That's going to be our momentum reversal exit. So that's one way to be able to make sure that, all right, if this trade goes against us within the first 2 minutes, don't stay in, right? I really want to do 90 seconds, but there are times I don't want it to be able to catch a false fake out, right? So I'm going to do it within the first 2 minutes, and this may be adjusted. Let me do this. Boom. May be adjusted or not implemented, depending on performance. All right. What we also want to do is have our exits, right? So our exits are going to be, now this is my question, right? Is a take profit or TP. So when I say take profit, it's TP, right? Stop loss or SL, stop loss, right? When I say TP or SL, TP is take profit, SL is stop loss, or trailing stop loss. I really don't want to do T. Some people would do TSL, but it's okay. Let's just do or TSL or a trailing take profit or TTP, right? We need to figure out which one of these is going to make sense for our property. A little slip there. I was working on real estate earlier, so that's why maybe that came in. But for our asset, for our underlying option, for our underlying bot, right? When it's in it, okay, how are you going to exit? Are we going to have take profit levels, which I think makes sense, right? Are we going to have a stop loss? Are we going to have a trailing stop loss? And are we going to have a trailing take profit? Now, I'm going to leave this blank for right now. Reason being so is because I want to distinguish between the four, right? Are these the same thing? Does it make sense only to have a take profit and stop loss, or does it make sense only to have a take profit and a max hold? Time hold, or MRE, right? So this is the way that we exit. We already talked about. So I'm going to put an asterisk here and then say we already discussed the time hold and MRE. All right, and we just have to discuss the take profit, stop loss, trailing stop loss, and trailing take profit, right? So these are a couple things I really want us to be able to dive into and understand before we really go into our exit. So again, super simple, not overcomplicated. The reason I'm not using VWAP, the reason I'm not using EMA, the reason I'm not using MACD, the reason I'm not using Bollinger Bands or some of these other type of indicators, right? Because they're lagging indicators, right? When you're scalping, we got to be quick, fast, right? We got to be in and out that thing super fast. So if I'm using a lagging indicator, we could just blow up our position. Who wants to do that? We're in it. Let's back all the way up. This is not financial advice. This is merely educational. If you want financial advice, please make sure to be able to speak to a financial advisor, a CFP, or those that are properly licensed in order to assist you with your financial questions. All right, let's get back to this thing. I'm gonna make a disclaimer, Russ. Whenever like boop, my little disclaimer. And maybe I'll show y'all how I do it, but I'm gonna make a disclaimer, and it's gonna be dope. So we have our right, we have our risk management, We have our exit. Next, I want to talk about our position management, position size management. Now, oh, I don't think I said this. If I didn't, forgive me. All of our strategies, starting capital is $100. The reason I'm starting at $100 is because I want to be able to dispel the notion that you need thousands of dollars, excuse me, to be able to trade options. The way we're doing is very specific, it's very particular. We're not trading the individual stocks themselves. We are trading ETFs, and ETFs that had a lot of liquidity, right? So what does liquidity mean? I should have did that up here. Hold on. I'm going to put liquidity, or I want to put liquidity. All right. Liquidity, right? Being able to buy or sell without the worry of having or of having the contract expire worthless, right? So the reason I'm trading SPY, the reason I trade QQQ, the reason I trade I mean there's a couple others. Let's just stick to SPY and QQQ right now. I mean, there's Nvidia. Nvidia has a stupid amount of liquidity, right? And we just talk about Nvidia, it just hit the $5 trillion market cap. So that's another one that I'm potentially going to be creating one on. But I've seen a lot of success with being able to use SPY and VIX. But again, we have Nvidia in it. So I don't need to trade the individual stock, right? I don't need to trade that individual option because I have it in SPY. But there's an idea that I have for Nvidia, for Apple, for Microsoft, and Meta or Facebook that I want to try out with you all. But that's after we finish up our scalping bot. So liquidity is being able to buy or sell without having to worry of having the contract expire worthless, right? So if we have low liquidity, right, that means you can be stuck with the bag, right? Meaning that, all right, you bought, now you can't sell, right? And if you can't sell, what's the point of buying, right? So we always want to make sure there's always somebody in the market to be able to buy said stock, right? To be able to buy said option, right? So that's why I went on the little tangent about liquidity. So all of our starting capital is going to start at $100 because again, we want to be able to dispel the notion that you need hundreds of dollars to be able to option trade. No, the way that we're option trading very specific. We're option trading using high liquidity assets, right? That allows us to be able to trade zero DTE options that expire the same day, right? And we're only trading. You know what? Hold on. And hold on, I forgot to mention, bot only trades between 9:35 a.m. and 11:44 a.m., right? EST. That is the only time that bot is allowed to trade. Reason being so, we're doing zero DTE strategies. Zero DTE strategies mean you could lose your ass if you don't know what the hell you're doing. So we want to be able to miss some of that morning chaos, but I want to catch some of it. So I don't trade the first 5 minutes, right? And then I don't trade the afternoon at all. When it comes to zero DTE strategies. I mean, I tried it, but I lost my ass. So what's the point of being able to show you all something if it's not advantageous, right? So we only trade between 9:35 a.m. and 11:44 a.m. Now this, I may tweak it a bit, right? Because normally I just go to 11:30, but this 44 has been showing some promise. So let's keep going. We have our position size, right? So let's talk about our position size. So anything less than 499, we can use up to 80% of the available balance, meaning we can use up to $80 per trade to start off with in this example. Right? Okay, let me spell with right. Hold on. All right. I know I keep whatever. Y'all need to know. Y'all don't care anyway. So when we have anywhere between 500 and 1,000, we can use anywhere. We can use up to 50% of the portfolio balance. There we go. Let's spell portfolio right. There we go. And anything greater, right? Greater than 1,000, we can use up to 20% of the portfolio balance, right? Now, I know you all are saying, wait, we're starting at $100. Follow me, but don't follow me. Follow me, right? Another thing, this contract, I'm getting to contract. Remember option contracts, everyone. Option contract equals 100 shares, right? Another thing we have to be able to distinguish here is our max contracts, right? Max contracts. Let's just set it at 100 right now, right? Our max contracts is, so we say contracts is the amount of option contracts that we can have the amount of option contracts that we can have per trade, right? So normally we're buying anywhere between 1 and 2, but then as the portfolio grows, I want to be able to limit it to 100, and that's it, fam. That's it, fam. You don't need any more. All right, so let's review our strategy. This is looking good. We have our entry. We're holding it. I wrote that twice. Let me just take that out because we already have it down here, Jit. Hold on. Let me just put MRE. Let me just put max hold time right here. Max hold time equals 12. Let me just start with 12 minutes. But I know we can go up to 15, but I'm going to start with 12 minutes. All right. So what we're going to enter, we're going to look back at 3 candles or 3 minutes for price movement of 0.003 in SPY, right? And we also want volume confirmation of 2.5 times, right? And then we're only trading in VIX range between 12 and 38. Our risk management is saying, okay, I want to be able to have an MRE, and that's that momentum reversal exit. So if within the first 120 seconds of the trade, if the trade goes negative, greater than or equal to 3%, then exit, right? This can be adjusted or not implemented depending on the performance. Our max hold time is going to be 12 minutes. The way that we exit our trade is going to be, and then this is something I'm still need to talk about with you all, because I think this will help us out when it comes to being able to build like any other algo bot. So I'm going to like really talk with you all. We talk about our hold time. We talked about our MRE. Our position size, we're going to start at $100, right? For anything less than or equal to, anything less than or equal to 499, we can use up to 80% of the available balance, meaning we can use up to $80 per trade to start off with in this example, because remember, we're starting off with $100. Anything between 500 and 1,000, so just put your little dollar sign there. Anything between 500 and 1,000, we can use up to 50% of the portfolio balance, and anything greater than 1,000, we can use. I was going to say equal to, but that doesn't make sense because I'm right here. We can use up to 20% of the portfolio balance. Max contract is 100. Now, is there anything else that I'm forgetting? We have our risk management. We have. I think that's it. I think that's it. All right, now let's go over and go to. So y'all are seeing my process, right? If you do have any questions in this, let me know. Let me check my levels. You should be able to hear me, and you can. All right, we're Gucci them. All right, let's keep going. Now I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Remember I said we got to talk about take profit, stop loss, trailing take stop loss, and trailing take profit. This is what I'm talking about. I want to flesh out some of these ideas that I have, right? Because my question is it redundant if we have a take profit, a stop loss, a trailing take profit, and a trailing stop loss, right? Those are 4 different ways to be able to exit on top of the 2 that we already have. I want a take profit, right? And I want a stop loss because, but does this MRE already have our stop loss in it? So that's what I want to flesh out with ChatGPT. And the reason I'm using ChatGPT, I mean, I can use Claude Code too. We do have it here, but I just use it right now to be able to check our levels to make sure we're Gucci. We're Gucci. So let's just use ChatGPT because I like it when it comes to being able to flesh out ideas. So let's keep going. Can you explain, like I'm 12 years old, what a take profit, and stop loss, how it works when it comes to option trading strategies. You'll be all right. All right, let's break this down so it's super simple. Imagine that you buy a candy bar for $1 and you say to yourself, hey, if somebody offered me $2, I'll sell it right now and take my profit. This is what take profit is, right? It's a rule that says if the trade makes me enough money, I'll close it and lock in my win. So in option trading, if your option goes up in value, so say you bought it for $50 and it raises to 100, right? You take profit, your take profit might automatically sell it once you hit the $100, right? So you took profit before the market can take it back. So if we work hard for it, like you don't go broke taking a profit, right? But you do go broke giving it back. So that's why I want us to be able to have our take profit in place. But I want us to figure out, okay, which one is it? The trailing take profit? Is it a trailing stop loss? I don't know. Let's figure it out. I mean, I do, but for the purposes of the exercise, I don't know. So let's figure it out. A stop loss. Now imagine you buy that same candy bar for $1, but then you say, all right, if the price, but you just bought it, whatever. That price drops to 50 cents. I'll sell it before I lose money, right? That's your stop loss. It is like a seatbelt of your trade. It automatically gets you out when things go wrong, so you don't lose too much. And option trading, maybe you paid $100 for a call option, right? And remember, call option is where bullish meaning that we think that the market or the price might go up. But the price goes bearish, it drops, right? Your stop loss is 35%, meaning I'll close the trade when the value hits 65%. Now, I think this is a little bit too loose, right? For scalping, it is going to be a lot more tighter, meaning our stop loss is probably going to be like 10. So in this same example, if we bought the call option for 100, right? If it drops to 90, get me the hell out, right? So it's going to be a 10% stop loss, maybe 20, but I won't go over 20 because we're scalping and I'm in it for only 15 or 12 minutes max, right? So I'll close the trade when it hits the value of 65, protecting you from losing the whole 100. Together, a take profit and stop loss is the risk reward plan. And I want to talk about that. I'm glad it's bringing in the risk reward ratio because I was going to go to that next. Oh, risk reward ratio. Perfect. Every good trader decides before this trade, how much am I willing to lose the stop loss and how much do I want the take profit? For example, I buy $100 call, right? But our stop loss is at 70, so I'm willing to lose 30%, right? And the take profit is at 100, so I want to be able to gain 100%, right? So this means you're risking 30 to make 100. So that is a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, right? So options can move fast, but both up and down. So having these rules keep you disciplined, prevents emotional trading, and makes your losses stay small while you grow your wins big, right? Now, can you explain if there is a difference between trailing stop loss, remember SL, trailing take profit, trailing stop loss and trailing take profit, right? Trailing stop loss and trailing take profit. Are these the same thing? Can they work in conjunction with TP and SL, stop loss and take profit? Or does this add unneeded complication? Cite your sources and your response / rationale. All right. A trailing stop loss, TSL, right? A regular stop loss is a fixed price or a fixed percentage below your entry price where you, bruh, I know, man, like you don't got to be on my set like that, though, bruh. All right, let's get back to it. I'm sorry. A regular stop loss is a fixed price or fixed percentage below your entry where you'll exit the trade if things go bad. So you limit your losses. A trailing stop loss adjusts or moves as the trade grows in your favor, right? So as the trade goes up for a long trade, the stop loss level moves up too, keeping the same distance or percentage away. So you lock in more profit or reduce the risk. And an example, you buy an option or a stock, let's just say an option for $100, right? $100 call. You set, this is what I'm loving, you set a trailing stop loss, right, at 10%. So if the price goes to 120, then your stop loss moves to, let's say, 108. So if the price falls, you exit at 108 instead of the 100 or worse. The benefit, the benefit lets you profit run while still protecting the downside. But also you might get stopped out too early if the price dips briefly then continues up. Excuse me, I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, let's get it, shouting. What is a trailing take profit or TTP? This is a less common traditional stock trading. This is less common in traditional stock trading, but it's more in crypto and derivatives, and it's kind of a hybrid idea. The idea says that you set a take profit target, a price you want to exit at. Then once you hit it or some condition is met, you trail the exit so the price keeps going up. You exit moves up, but if the price reverses, you exit from one source. You buy at $10,000, right? So you set a profit at 11,000 and a trailing take profit at 5%. So once the price hit $11,000, your stop order is set at 10,450. 5% of the trailing take profit. So if the price increases to 12,000, the trailing stop moves up to 11,400, right? 5% of the 12. But then if the price falls to 11.4, you exit. So TPP is like, I want to lock in profits, but I also want to ride the trend so far as I can without manually adjusting. Are they the same thing? No. They are similar but not the same. A trailing stop loss is primarily about protecting against losses or protecting accumulated gains as they trade more in your favor. A trailing take profit is more about locking in profit after a threshold, then trailing to maximize that profit further, right? It often combines aspects of a stop loss and take profit. Also, a classic take profit, non-trailing, it's static, right? You set targets and when you hit it, you exit. Trailing versions add that dynamic version. Can they work together in conjunction with regular stop loss and take profit? Absolutely, right? They can. You need to design the rules cleanly so they don't confuse or cause unwanted exits. For example, you might enter a trade and set a regular stop loss to limit how much you lose, a regular take profit to lock in the baseline profit. Then, additionally, after the price moves a certain amount, you can activate a trailing take profit or trailing stop loss to further ride the upside. Many platforms support combining these tools. For instance, one source says you can use a trailing take profit or trailing stop or both in some certain systems. You can use it all for what we're doing here. I just want to be able to prove a point. The platform also explains once TP is greater than 5%, the trailing stop activates at 2%. So you need both a profit trigger and a trailing distance for TTP, right? Does it add unneeded complication? Yes, and maybe no, depending on your strategy, your style, and your strategy. Here's the trade offs: pros of a trailing tools plus the regular stop loss and take profit. More dynamic, you can capture more profit if the market keeps going your way. Better protection, if a strong trend reverses suddenly, you might lock profits than a fixed TP, right? Automates part of it, lets renters win and cut the losers short rule. Complexity, more rules to monitor or automate, more parameters to set, trailing distance, trigger threshold, risk of whipsaw, whiplash. You go up, they automatically come right back down. In volatile markets, a trailing stop might hit its prematurely in a minor dip, even though the trend resumes, you miss the bigger profits. Potential of overlapping or conflicting orders. If you set a fixed take profit and also a trailing stop and trailing take profit, you need to ensure that they don't interfere, excuse me, and you might exit earlier than you intended. For options, especially, options have time decay. That's why I'm in and out in under 15 minutes. Theta, right? Volatility, so that the underlying behaves differently. So the trailing tools might need to careful settings. Might need more careful settings. So yes, it can add unnecessary complications if your strategy is simple or just starting. If you're a more advanced trader or working with options where things are fast, it might be quite useful. I'm not going to read that again. We just talked about that. So for what we're doing, all right, for a scalping strategy for 0 DTE SPY options, would it make sense just to have a TP and SL, or just have a trailing take profit? I feel like be blowing smoke up my ass, but whatever. Let's unpack it step by step. First, what 0 DTE scalping actually means. You're trading same day expiring options, 0 days to expiration, moves fast, volatile, and time decay, theta. Each your premium every minute. You usually trade in minutes, not hours. The goal is to grab quick profits and then get out before the move reverses. So timing is greater than perfection. Option A is a fixed TP and the stop loss. This is the simplest and smartest approach for scalping 0 DTE options. Why? Speed and bruh, I told you get off my neck. Speed and simplicity. You know your exit rules points before entering. Theta safety. You are not hanging around waiting for the perfect trail. You take it, take the win and loss, and then you reset. Less emotion, no second guessing when the price wiggles. You're mechanical. Example: we buy a SPY call for $100. Remember, because there's 100 shares. I should have did that, but my fault. There's 100 shares in one option contract, so if we're buying it for $1, we're really buying it for $100 because of that 100 shares, right? Buying it for 100, right? So that's why you see it here. We have a take profit of 50 to 100%, so we sell at 150 or $200, right? A stop loss at 30 or 40, so we sell at 60 or 70. This gives you a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, so we risk 40 to miss 80. Super clean, easy to automate, and efficient for 0 DTE. This is what pro scalpers and algo traders use for 0 DTE. Right? This sounds nice in theory. Let winners run automatically. But in 0 DTE, it usually doesn't perform better than a fixed exit. Why? Time decay. Every second you hold, your option bleeds value, and as SPY stalls, a trailing TP might wait too long and give back gains. Volatility: SPY often fakes out and snapbacks hard, so a small dip can trigger your trailing and close out early and before another push. Execution delays: a trailing logic might misfire in a fast market, especially if the spreads widen, which often is common in 0 DTE. So the trailing take profit TTP can work in trending breakouts, but it's often too slow or too whippy for scalps. Hybrid, I am not doing that. If you know, so I say this to say is that everybody, oh, I want a trailing stop loss, right? Oh, I want a trailing take profit. This makes sense, but it's all depending on our particular strategy, right? So our strategy is such that we are scalping. If we had another strategy that wasn't scalping, then all right, maybe I'll introduce a trailing stop loss. Maybe I'll introduce a trailing take profit. But our strategy, we are scalping. So I'm trying to be in and out in under 12 minutes. So it wouldn't make sense for us to have a trailing stop loss or a trailing take profit. So I'm going to take these out. We're not going to have that. I remember I forgot to add it, but I want the risk reward ratio to be approximately 1 to 2 or better. Meaning for every $1, let me just put the dollar, $1 we risk, we want to make $2. That's not bad, right? So if we have, for every $1 we make, I want to be able to make $2. I want to try take profit. Now, because we're in it for 12 minutes, right? Now, what is a take profit that makes sense for 12 minutes for scalping? Is it 80%, right? If it's 80%, then my stop loss has to be 40, right? Remember 2 to 1, right? Is it 70%? If it's 70, then my stop loss has to be 35. Remember, 1 to 2, right? What I want to do is in the first 0 to 8 minutes, right? If hit TP2 take profits, you want to have 2 take profit levels. Now follow me. If in the first 0 to 8 minutes, if TP2 hits at 120, no, we're scalping. Remember, we're scalping. Like, I don't want to be greedy. We're scalping. 110. Let's just do 110. If within the first 8 minutes, right, if TP2, take profit 2, is at 110, exit. Or we can do if else, right? If else, like we're already writing our code. And then, so if it's 110, I'm going to keep it like super, super tight. Because 35 is a bit too loose for me in my house. I'm going to just probably do 20 and I'll adjust it. But for right now, I'm going to keep it at 20. If else, if between 2 E's, 8, okay, let's do 0 and 5. Then if between 6 and 10 minutes, if TP1 hits at 70%, excuse me, exit. Well, if else, between 10 and 12, if we hit at 35%, exit. Well, last chance to make moolah. All right. So let's talk about it. So we have multiple take profits, right? Because we don't just want one, I want multiple. So we're going to have within the first 5 minutes, if our take profit 2 hits 110%, exit. If else, if between 6 and 10 minutes, right? Let me just put minutes. If between 6 and 10 minutes, if TP1 hits at 70%, exit, right? If else between 10 and 12 minutes, if hit at 35%, exit. Whoa, last chance to make some moolah. Our stop loss is going to be at 25%. Our time hold, of 12 minutes. may want to try this MRE, but may not. So let's be flexible here. All right, we have our starting capital. So we have a strategy, ladies and gentlemen, that we just built out. Freaking love this film. We only trade between let me put it here. Only trade between strat, only trades between 9:30 and 10. We have our VIX, we have our momentum, our exit. All right, so now let's take this to ChatGPT. All right, here is the strategy, the scalping strategy we are thinking about. Now let's flush this out before we proceed to back test it. All right. So you're building a momentum-based zero DTE scalping strategy with tight entry rules and precise time, precision, and layered exit logic. The core goal is to catch your momentum morning volatility burst with clean. Oh, you from not forgot is a directional, is a calls and puts. Burst. So that's what I'm going to do here. Clean risk without over trading or theta decay. So avoid the opening bell chaos between 9:30 and 9:35 when spreads widen. Catch the morning breakouts before volume and volatility taper off, and before midday choppy and theta crush. That's like right now. Look back, 3-minute time frame, momentum trigger, volume confirmation. Bruh, I get it, man. Get off my neck. Comments. Volume confirmation is modest but realistic for a 3-minute scalp. You should test 0.5 times for stricter. The 0.03 move is very small. Like, no, it's not. It's 0.03. That's what I want. The reason I'm doing that is on purpose, bro. Just trust me. The VIX 12 to 28 ensures you're avoiding a dead zone and panic volatility. Risk management, MRE, the momentum reversal within a verse 120 seconds. If the trade goes negative or greater than 3%, exit immediately. Smart safety breaks, early reversal, false breakout, saves capital fast. Suggesting MRE condition and backtest with or without, so you can see the performance in delta. Min and max. Risk reward is a perfect baseline. Full take profit, partial, last chance. Add a no. I'm not doing any trailing. We just talked about this, bro. Position sizing. Just cap one contract until 500 for better risk control. 80%, 50%. Okay. All right. So a few things we want to do. Yes, we meant 0.003. This is where we want to start. Also, we want to add to buy the downward momentum as well. So this strategy is bi-directional, calls and puts. So update that. Also, what else did I want to update? What else did I want to update? I don't want a trailing stop loss. The MRE. One trade per day. And also one trade max per day. No revenge trading. Revenge trading. Meaning if we lose, then we'll try to make it up. What else? I think that's it. All right. Now update it so we can review. And we didn't even get to the code yet. I'm going to get to the code. Don't worry. Like, I'm building out the strategy, right? So once we build out the strategy, once we get to the code, it's going to be super easy to be able to code this out. So I'm building out the strategy. Once we have our strategy, don't worry, fam. Like, we're going to get to the code and it's going to be phenomenal once we get there. But we got to build out a strategy. So you're confirming that this is bidirectional 0 DTE option scalping, meaning we're playing both the momentum calls and the downward momentum puts. Trade only once per day and includes strict risk and revenge trade prevention. So we are active between 9:35 and 11:44. We're only trading one per day. SPY, long calls, upside breakdowns, and the downside. Bruh, get off my neck. Time frame 3 minute. Look back 3 previous candles. Momentum, if the price moves 0.003, right, the direction over the last 3 candles, by calls, by puts, the current volume, okay, probably the first 3 candles, volatility, perfect, position sizing, scaling mimics the Kelly risk rule. The Kelly risk criterion is basically a way for us to be able to have our position sizing. And yes, I kind of did it that way, but not really, because I want us to still be aggressive. Kelly's going to say, all right, bet you only use 20% or 30% type shit. We are going to do that, but once I have a little bit more bag, right? Momentum reversal exit, okay. Stop loss fixed at 20% per trade. Hard stop loss, immediate exit at 20% from entry. If it's less than 20% from entry, 12 minutes total. Auto exit at the 12-minute mark if still open. Avoid theta decay and mid-date chop. Take profit ladder. Optional enhancement. I'm not doing that, you fucker. Execution safeguards. No revenge trading. Risk reward. Risk 35%. We're making on average 1.5%. Strategy edge. High probability of early momentum capture and low exposure duration. Okay. I like this. So we have our strategy, ladies and gentlemen. We have our strategy. So let's go to code. Before. All right. So let's go. Wait, let's oh, look at that. We have a new update for Cursor. Cursor 2.0 is here. The Cursor Composer 1. Composer 1 is a Cursor's new agent model designed for software engineering intelligence and speed. Multi-chat interface. A new chat interface with voice inputs and layout pop-outs for working with agents, and run agents in parallel. Run multiple models in parallel locally and work trees for the cloud. Oh, let's start with 2.0. Let's see y'all see this? So we have Composer 1. We just talked about that. 4.5, that's the one I normally use, but I don't use I don't use Cursor's AI chats that much. I use our own within Claude Code. But maybe we'll try these out. Grok Code, I never use that unless you want to blow up your project. Gemini, unless you want to blow up your project. GPT-5, again, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even going to go on that soliloquy. But I know, like, bro, Grok is going to blow up your project, bro. If you ever, it's going to blow up your project. All right, let's close this out. So that was nice. Y'all got to see that. All right, so let's open up a new folder. We're going to put it up in option, baby. And this is going to be our, do I have one? No, created? No. This is going to be our scalping, baby. We're going to open it up. And you know what I do need to grab is the data, fam. We do need the data. Data. Give me 1 second. I just need to grab the data. And this is another one of our bots, but I need to grab the data real quick. Perfect. I appreciate you. Let me just put it here for now. I want to move it, but I just need it real quick. we're getting our VIX and our SPY data. So if you want to look at it real quick, so this is our open, high, low, close. So we have one, excuse me, before was our open, high, low, close, right? This is Greek data for SPY, right? So what do I mean by Greeks? We have our Greeks, our delta, our theta, our vega, our rho, epsilon, so on and so forth. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is the minute and max. I want to do that. Don't worry. The min and the row. So this is what we pulled from theta data, so we can actually back test our strategy. Remember, back testing is storing our strategy in a time machine, and I want to see how well it performs on historical data. So I want to be back testing this on 2024, 2023, 2022. We may even go back to 2020, right, to be able to see how well it does in the COVID years and post-COVID. So that'll be interesting to see. So our strategy, we're going to do that, but I want to get the data first. So I have our SPY, and I need to get the VIX. So here's VIX. So let me go ahead and grab her. So we now have our SPY. We now have our VIX data. Now I'm going to come back here. Oh, you know what I forgot? Is the and this is another one of our bots that I created here on the channel with you all, and I want to grab this one. I forgot, excuse me, the strike distance. I'm just going to use the same strike distance. That's fine. The minute and max delta targets. That's fine. Breakout threshold. Okay. I'm just going to use the same strike distance. Remember, the strike distance is how far we're going to have the strikes for. So I'm going to use that same strike distance and the same delta min and max and the same premium for our previous one. So what I'm going to do is come back here. That's one thing I forgot to put in. Let's go ahead and drop her there. Add the following to the strategy. We forgot to mention it. Let's go super aggressive, and then max I'll do 44. All right, perfect. So it's going to do that. We already have our folder open. Now we have our strategy. Let's go ahead and open up Claude Code. Remember, Claude Code is what we use to be able to code out our projects. So let's go ahead and get Claude Code. And trust me, just follow me, but don't follow me, but follow me, right? Now, there's a couple of different ways we can do this. I'm not going to use the normal one. I like to use 4.5. I like to use Cloud 4.5 Sonnet, right? Because that's the best one that I've seen so far, and it's the most latest one. So we're going to use the 4.5. So let's keep going. And while this loads, give me a second. I'm going to grab some agua. bro, this thing is like spazzing. All right, let me close a couple things. Let me close you. What else? All right, I don't need IBKR open right now, so I can close IBKR. Like, bruh, y'all should be able to hear me. If you can give me a thumbs up, letting me know that you can, that'll be dope. But okay, let me also delete our trash. It could be tripping there. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. All right. So I'm going to be using Cloud Code. And again, the reason we're using Cloud Code is because it's one of the best ones out there. So why not use it, right? I use 4.5 within Cloud Code. We have our strategy. Here's our strategy. We already fleshed it out. Position sizing, take profit. I'm not doing that. Execution, risk reward. Okay. So here's our strategy. All right, perfect. We have our strategy. What else do I need? Okay, so you can actually see this full window. Let me close this and then make sure if I open it, it's still there. It is. All right. And again, before we even get started, I want to be able to build context with Claude Code, right? And there's one or two ways that we can do this. Claude Code has this agent panel where we can create agents and have it work within it, right? But I don't like to use it as much, especially when I'm streaming with y'all. Reason being so is because you can't really see what the hell is going on. I just wish that for feedback, right? If y'all are listening to this, if Anthropic is listening, like let us see what the fuck is going on, right? Excuse me. Let us see what is going on, meaning that like I got to take word as bond that you completed the work. And yeah, I could go check the code and yeah, I can go do a little bit QA myself, but you'll see the biggest difference between using their AI agent and just using Claude, regular Claude, without having the, oh, you're this or oh, you're that. Like you're a code reviewer, you're a code simplifier, you're a security reviewer, tech lead, UX reviewer, right? These are great. And if you could check out some of our other streams, like I've actually used it with you all, but the biggest feedback that I got is you can't see what's going on within it, meaning that the logging, the UX and the UI, the feedback, right, actually what's going on when they're using the agent, it doesn't work as well. So that's why I don't like to use it as much when I'm streaming with you all, because I want you all to see the entire process. So I'm going to escape. We're not going to use the agent. I just want to talk about that real quick. And when I first start up a new session with Claude Code, I like to treat it like we're in a deposition. You ever seen Suits, right? And when Harvey and Mike are about to start their deposition, right, that they get their game faces on, and no, excuse me, any lawyer, right, not just Suits, any lawyer, right, or any attorney, counselor, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, right? When it comes to a deposition, 95% of the time, or a good high percent of the chance, is like the questions that they're asking, they already know the answers to, right? So I want to treat Claude Code like the same. I already know the answers to the question, but I want to be able to build context for our AI before we start using it. So let's go ahead and build that context. First thing is, what do you know about 0 DTE option trading? So let's start with the basic. 0 days to expiration option trading refers to trading options on their expiration date. Key characteristics is the mechanics. Options expire the same day, typically 4 p.m. for SPY X or SPY. Extremely high decay theta. Value erodes rapidly on the expiration approaches high gamma. The delta changes dramatically with small price moves. The appeal, lower capital requirements, right? Cheap premium and fast profit potential. Multiple setups per week. SPY X now expire Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And SPY is what we're doing. I think I want to do one on SPY X. But I want to do on SPY. It's daily, right? And that's why I like to use SPY, because it's daily. Oh man. Risk is the binary outcome. You win or you lose, right? high volatility sensitivity, slippage and wide risk and gamma scalping. So we understand it. All right, we understand it, and it gets it. And I'm not going to go over with this again. All right, now what do you know about being able to backtest these type of strategies with using Python? And Python is my code of choice. I understand there's JavaScript. I mean, that was weird. If you could, I mean, you kind of can, but that's like front end type shit. Like, I want to just backtest within a code editor. Backtesting zero DTE options in Python. The intraday data is extensive and hard to get. We already got that. The multiple tick level. So perfect. We already have that. So now what I wanted to do, we have a Conda environment that makes doing option backtesting a lot easier. And a Conda environment, for lack of better words, is a garage, right? Where I house all of these libraries that are needed. So what I'm going to do is, before we even bring in our, oh, this is a new one. I didn't know that one. Okay, before we even bring in our library, I'm going to bring in, or our strategy. I want to say, okay, you know what? Now we want you to figure out how to properly use our Conda environment and ensure. You know what? I'm just gonna make it, because I did this before and Jit was spazzing for like 30 minutes trying to figure out how to use this Conda environment if I don't give it this very particular thing. All right, I gotta give it the source. I found the source to ensure we are on the same page before we proceed. Here is the source path. Now proceed and make sure you understand it and verify the library's libs within it, and that it is accessible and ready to be used. Because there was this one time where I thought that the AI could figure it out, but nah, it's as good as the direction you give it, right? So I want to give it great direction and make sure it can slide without issue. Then, before, all right, what should we do? Should we bring in the data? Now that okay, you see, bruh, I told you, bruh. I told you, bruh. Our option baby is active. We have our Python. We have our key libraries that we need for backtesting. Okay. Now what do I want to do? Let's go over the data before. Okay. This is, no, let's go over the strategy first. Let's go over the strategy and then we'll go over the data. Yeah, let's go, because there's going to be a method to my madness. Trust me. All right. Before we go over the data for the strategy, review what we came up with. Do I want to have it SWOT, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? No. And let's discuss and explain like I'm 12 so we can ensure we are on the same page. I don't want to see you. What are we going to call this? Bel Air. Santi Belair, the matriarch lieutenant. Santi Belair, a Haitian revolutionary heroine. A new look at the fighting tigress for the struggle of liberty. One of the books I was reading, and I've been trying to get Belair up and running. I'm going to call this Belair. She's going to be Belair. All right, you're playing a video game where you bet on SPY, a popular stock going up or down really fast in the morning. You only get one bet per day, so you have to make it count. From 9:30 to 9:35, from 9:35 to 11:44 morning only when the market is the most wild. After one trade, you are done for the day. No second guesses. You watch SPY on the 3-minute timer, like watching a video game every 3 minutes. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's three candles. If SPY moves up in those three candles, 9 total minutes, it goes. Okay, hold on. Wait. We we may have some cross confusion here. The strategy is supposed to be scanning non-stop, not just in the 3-minute intervals. So the strategy is scanning S&P and then looking back 3 minutes to see the price movement for either calls or puts. Does that make sense? Yeah, because this one thing was just like, wait, what? I'm a 3-minute timer. Nah, Jet, you got damn near almost 2 hours. Oh, let me clarify. The strategy is constantly scanning SPY like every second, tick by tick, not just waiting for 3-minute intervals to finish. Non-blocking, what it's doing is non-blocking monitoring, always watching SPY prices in real time, looking back 3 minutes at any given moment, and it checks what happened in the last 3 minutes. Candle is checking condition, then the price move greater than the 0.03%. Is a volume high? Is a Vixen range? As soon as all of these conditions are met, we trade immediately. So start scanning, checking, no move, no move, and then boom, SPY moved 0.03 in the last three candles plus volume spiking good. Scans continually, no waiting for the 3-minute candles to close. Use the 3 minutes as a look back window, checks the price over the last 9. Wait, use the 3-minute candles as a look back window, checks price over the last 9 minutes. Why is it checking? Okay, no. Not yet. Why is it checking over the last 9 minutes? Yeah, why is it checking over the last 9 minutes? Advise via TLDR. Shit, maybe I even confused myself here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, 3 candles, 3 minutes. No, it's 1 minute. No. The data we are going to be using is 1 minute candles, not 3-minute candles. That is the confusion. Does that make sense? I knew Jit was going to be confused on that. I should have. Yes, bitch. Oh, yes, that makes sense now. Data is the 1-minute candle. Look back is 3 candles, last 3 minutes, not 9. Continuous scanning, tick by tick. The SPY move 0.0. Okay, that's what I want. Also, it is supposed to be point 0.00003%, 0.003% within the last 3 minutes or candles. Got it? I don't want to see you. That 0.0, that's 3/10,000%. Quick sanity check is less than a penny, is 180. No, we want 0.003. Sorry, this is what we meant, not 0.0003 or 0.3. We want Damn. 003. 1,000s, because that's tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So that's tenths, hundreds, thousands, right? Okay. The threshold is 0.03. So we go 1, 2. Oh. Let's check if they're. So 1, 2, 3. 3%. No, it's 0.03. Is it? Did I just give it 4? We're not going to see nothing move on 80. Okay. Shit, bro. Okay. Do 0.00. So tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. Yes. To start off with, and we will go from there. Now we want you to review the data. Review. This is both VIX and SPY. Review and advise if it is what we need for backtesting and ready to go. Which it is, which we are. But again, deposition type shit. All right, now that it has that, I need to bring in the actual backtest. So let me go get the backtest. Again, because we're using options, we have to create our own backtest. So this is a backtest that I created, right? A custom backtest that still is used some of the libraries, right, that we need. Whether it pandas, remember pandas is the Excel for Python, NumPy is the calculator for Python. This is so we can have the metrics output at the end, right? So it's the same backtest, right? But we had to create our own because backtesting.py doesn't work for options. Backtrader doesn't work for options. Algo trade doesn't work for options. Frequent trade doesn't work for options. Vector.bt doesn't work for options. You get my point? So all of this that we did really doesn't work for options. So that's why we had to create our own. So that's what we did here. So I'm having it check the data, make sure the data is Gucci. Once we confirm that the data is Gucci, then we'll be able to, I'm going to bring in the back test and be like, all right, Jit, check me out. I have the back test for you. Review the back test. And then based off, I still don't know what I'm going to call it. Oh, I said Bel Air. I said Bel Air. This is Bel Air. And based off the back test, I need you to create it. And I want to give it everything it needs for it. So it's like giving it the answers to a test, right? I'm not telling you you do have to study, but I'm giving you the answers to the test. So it makes it a lot easier. And if you do all have any questions while I'm doing this, please let me know. It's checking everything within the Conda environment, and if it doesn't do it right, it'll get these error. But if it does do it right, okay, I see what you're doing here. Me, I see what you do. I'm not Jamaican, by the way. Sometimes I catch an accent. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. Many options show 0 bid and ask illiquid or bad data. We need filtering. Okay, watch this. VIX data is that. All right, so we have open, high, low, close. That's what we see. OHLCV, open, O, high, H, L, low, close, C, volume V. So that's open, high, low, close. SPY is the S&P 500. 1 minute candles. I told you, Jit. We have data from 2024 to 2025. Where do we get the data? From Theta Data. If you want more information on Theta Data, they're not sponsoring us. But hey, if you want to sponsor me, I'll take it. Theta Data is where I got the option data from. Now, if you want to grab it from here, you can, so you can follow along. So this is where I got the option data from in order for us to run this back test. So let's keep going. Um, the option Greeks, we have them from 2020 to 2025. We have 10 million plus rows. It goes from Greeks, expiration, strike. We have the Greeks. We have implied volatility. I have the bid and the ask, the underlying price, and then the timestamp, the zero DLTE filter. We have the delta range, the premium range, the strike distance can be calculated. The SPY options, very liquid. The VIX data, I don't know why Jit's scared. VIX range is from 3 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. So that's pre-market and post-market. Considerations, the bid ask for many options, so zero, so need filtering. The premium filter, we need to use the bid plus ask divided by 2 as the midpoint for the pricing. VIX timing, VIX is 1 minute data, need the alignment with the SPY timestamps. Wait, let me just make sure. Let me just make sure I gave you the right VIX data. I'm like 2 times certain, but I want to be 3 times for sure. I just want to make sure I gave you the right VIX data. Yes, it is. This is the VIX data that I gave you. So you're Gucci, and I got that VIX data from bar chart. All right, perfect. Now, before we proceed to build this back test, review the following. Let me just update it so it could be reference, ref, example. Review the following reference example for how we are developing the back test. Then once you understand, lay out the plan before we begin coding. Again, I gave it the answers to the test. Again, this is the same back test you just seen over there. So I gave it the answers to the test. Now it's going to be like, all right, bet. Now I know the answers. Let's slide. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. I'm tripping, y'all. Crisscross. Crisscross. All right. Cha-cha real slow. Like, bum, 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 bum. Y'all be all right, man. I'm giving y'all the sauce right now. Giving y'all the sauce right now. Giving you the sauce right now. It says it's unstable. Like, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, we Gucci. I see my levels. We Gucci. I see my levels. We Gucci. Okay, what the fuck are you doing? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'll build this modular following. Okay, we do not want it that way. That's I mean, in theory, right? This shit looks good, right? And it can run it. But in practice, it's not. So that's why I would rather to create it like I just showed you. You create it like I just showed you, then we will be Gucci. We do not want it that way. We want it how we showed you, with everything within the one file, just like the reference code. Now advise if you understand before we proceed to develop our backtest here called Bel Air Baby BT.py. And if y'all don't know who this is named after, let me show you. This is her, Santi Belair. She was a dope woman. So when it came to being able to help in the Haitian Revolution, she is one of the women that really don't have her story told as much. I have a book that I've been reading lately about her, and I was very intrigued. So that's why I was like, okay, you know what? She's super dope. She's super cool. There's a lot of great stuff within the book. So if you want to go catch it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. But this is who we're going to be naming the strategy after fam. Okay, understood. One file works. The Bel Air Baby is everything in one script and all references at the top. Config constraints, helper, Vix lookup, data, option, backtest to visualization. All right, perfect. Um, meh. Right. Key patterns. All right, let's get this done. All right, let's get this done. Whoa. All right, so while it outputs here, I'm gonna go grab an apple. Y'all watch it for me. If there's anything wrong, like let me know. Right? This is part of that relationship, right? All right, I'll be right back. Look at that. I ain't missed nothing. I didn't miss nothing. Don't worry. There's not going to be no ASMR. I'm not going to chew in your ear. All right. So we have our strategy going. Um, what do I want to do with this? I'm just going to save that over here so I can have it for my little notes. Um, you know what? I'm going to throw this here. Strategy, scrap palms, Jimmy Crack on, and I don't care. All right, let's go look at it. Let's go look at Bel Air. I just want to make sure she doesn't run it. Don't run it. Don't. Just be like, all right, look what we created. I can delete this now. Oh, before I delete it, let me just make sure. Let's review the code. Data's coming in from. Okay, there's one thing I noticed is the data has to be coming. I don't think this is gonna work. I think you need to do like the full path. Shit, I should have brought in. I'm almost certain you need to do the full path. Let me show you an example. of why you need to do the full path. Um, Let me just make sure, because this is just another example of a bot that I ran. I just want to check this back test real quick. See what I'm seeing? That's why I checked it, because I knew you needed to do this. So let's just go ahead and put that there, because I know that is needed. Let's check. Now, VIX path is none. You don't use VIX, so you are now perfect. All right, so I'm just checking just to make sure we have our parameters. We already talked about that ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go over that anymore. Get the VIX time, load the VIX, load the Greek, detect momentum, find options. All right, so we have a back test, ladies and gentlemen, and it's only 1,050. It's a little too big. I like under 1,000 because it's a little bit more manageable, right? But this right here is not that bad. It ain't that bad. It's not that bad, fam. What's included? Single data loader. All right. Let's run our back test. Let's run it, baby. We are going to do it right here. You know what I forgot to do? I told it to activate the conda environment, but we got to activate the conda environment for myself here. So let me go ahead and activate it for myself, because I'm not tripping. Then we're going to run our back test. Python Bel Air baby bt.py. Run our back test. Our back test is loading. We're running it on 2024. Again, we split up our back test where we're going to train on the first half, right, of 2024. Then we're going to validate on the back half of 2024. Reason I like to do it that way, I mean, we can train on the full year, then go test on another year, right? I just like to split it up this way because I've seen a lot better results. And we don't have to load all this data at one time, because remember, it's like over 10 million. See, 10 million rows. So if you do 2, you're doing 20 million rows of data. So our back test is running. You know what I want to put is, so we're running our back test for the first time now, and you all are going to be able to see this. So back test V1 training new high is so right now we're oscillating back and forth between like 180 and like 150. We haven't crossed. Okay, there's a lot of things that I need to adjust with this one, bruh. Our new high, our peak is 145. We finished at, our peak is 158. We finished at 145. 123 trades. I think there's a couple of things that I need to fix there, but okay. What is it? Ooh, let me do the final 145.96. 145.96, and then training validation. This is validation new high. And right now we're oscillating back and forth between like 70, and you see, okay, insufficient. We can't afford it. Don't buy it. That's what. Okay. We just got to do some tuning here. That's fine. Momo strike. What the fuck is a mo? I don't know, right? Just came up with this one. Oh, because you have Momo there. Momentum. All right, and we are almost done. The strategy, it damn near blew. So the validation blew up. Training worked, but validation blew up. Training was at 42% win rate, 46 total returns. Validation negative 94. Sharp ratio was nothing. It was negative 25 here. Average rate of return was about 104. Average rate of return here is under 100%. So we have some work to do. We have some work to do. All right. Review the results from V1 backtest. That was something new. That was something new. You know what I also want to do is keep this organized. And the way that we're going to keep it organized is I want to say backtest results. Then I'm going to put 2024. Then I'm also going to put 2023. Then I'm also going to put 2022. Then we're going to put version 1. So I can not have it and just put version 2. All right, perfect. So we just have it there and ready. All right. Let's talk about it. The critical issue is the strategy failed with negative 94% return. The training period had a 45% return. The validation period had a negative 96% return. The root cause is the 0.003 threshold is too tight, right? Tiny moves. These trigger many signals on noise. Most signals are false breakouts. The high trade frequency is 186 in 1 year equals one trade every 1.3 days. Many hit stop loss losing trade. The time stop frequent, the 12-minute exit with no profit. Account degradation accelerated in the volatile periods, the August when VIX spiked, right? Volatility breakdown is that the flat to start up started at 100, went to 45, 116 to 78, 78 to 25, 25 to 597, well underfunded. What went wrong is the signal quality. The price threshold catches noise, not momentum. The volume filter is too weak to confirm real moves. The exit logic rarely hit in 12 minutes. Most exits are the time stops or the stop loss, and the position holds too long in choppy conditions. Position sizing 80% allocation equals overexposed. I'm not changing that. All right. Momentum. We have a 10% move. Okay. The reference. This matches the reference with 0.0065, but in a 5-minute look back, the priority 2 is the volume filter, not 2%. Priority 3 is the tighten adjust. Okay. But I've seen this though, bruh. But I've seen this though. All right, you know what? Because I want to scalp and we want this to be fast in and out. So what I'm going to do is I will do the momentum increase from 0.003. We'll do it to 0.03. All right. Let's do this. We are going to increase the price threshold to 0.03. Excuse me. Percent and change the TP to and keep everything else the same. All right, we have this negative data. I need to drop our data somewhere so I can do this. Boom. I can delete you now. Move these files here and rename the V1 to V1 baseline. Baseline, rename the folder name, and move do not copy. All right, so we're going to get those moved. Perfect. Copy. All right. Boom. Okay. So now we're organized, and now we're going to run version 2 of our backtest. And I just ran it 2 separate ways so you can see. You can actually copy the file name. So you can go to right click, copy path, and just hit copy path and put Python and then run it, or you can type it out. Either way works. Either way works. And then V2, training, new high. All right, so let's see what it's screaming. Let's see what it's screaming. That's what I'm saying. Requiring that big of a move. How did I know this was going to happen? How did I know? Okay, that's the second trade. That was profitable. We're at 126 now. How did you know? All right, so 2 trades, 126 and 100% win rate, right? The sharp is incredible. There's only 2 trades. 2 trades, 126. What is it? 126.32. Then validation, new high. Let's check validation. Again, this is part of the process, right? What we're doing is running the back test, and then we're going to be tuning it. We are tuning it, quote unquote, right now live, so you all can see that. Oh, new back. We just okay. We just crossed 280, 220. All right, so I'm seeing that I just have a couple of things that I have to tweak. So maybe instead of 0.3, let's try 0.2. Let's try 0.1. I want to try 0.1. All right, I'm going to try 0.1 instead of 0.3 and then gauge results. Then I'm going to run it on 2023 because I want to make sure we're not overfitting. All right, so we have a little bit more activity. New high is 291.06. We had 13 trades, right? We're looking at a win rate of 92%. Best trade was $88. Worst trade was $34. Our sharp ratio is above 1, so that's Gucci. Our max drawdown was $12, meaning that at one point in time our strategy was at like 88 bucks, $87, right? And it was able to rally to 291. So this is not bad. I mean, it ain't great, but it ain't bad. All right. Oh, you know what? We also need to, I'm gonna bring in the log because I don't want to forget our journal. All right, review V2 results. Results from backtest. And then let's discuss. Then remember, I gotta move it, but I'm gonna move it after. I just want to see it. I have my ideas. My idea is to be able to drop that price threshold from 0.03, 0.3 to 0.1, and then keep everything else the same. So we're going to drop it from 0.3 to 0.1, keep everything else the same, and then we're going to gauge results. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. All right, come on, homie. And if you all do have any questions while we're doing this, please let me know. You should be, yep, you can see this. This is very, very clear for you. And like, I'm glad because I've taken some time to be able to make sure that this is super clear for you. And if it's not, let me know. Like, for instance, if I go here, you should be able to see it. You should be able to see the code. No problem. You can. Oh man. You don't know how happy that makes me. It's like it's really started from the bottom, now we here. I mean, there's still a couple of things that I can adjust. Like, it still seems a bit blurry, but if it does, again, you just let me know and then I'm going to adjust as best as possible. All right, we're Gucci. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. And right now I'm just waiting on the output from our version 2 of the backtest. Waiting on the output. All right, bruh. Pollinating. So like you're going around the flower to flower. Um, these adjectives, boy. These adjectives. Just be super funny, bruh. Are you really? This is when sometimes you'll be like, all right, come on, man. It shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't be that difficult. Pour in favor. Pour in favor. Okay, I think I'm like kind of hesitant to be able to just to stop and then be like, all right, what's good? Because it may be outputting or it may be not. The reason I'm saying is maybe not because these tokens haven't moved. The seconds have moved, but the tokens haven't moved. What do you all think? Should I stop it? At 175, if it didn't drop yet, then I'm going to stop it. All right, advise findings. What happened? There we go. See what I mean? I think it was just stuck because you see the seconds and the tokens moving now. That's how you know. All right, we cooking with grease. Bruh. Come on. This shouldn't be an issue. So I'm not running into limits or whatever. What's the issue, bruh? Bro, I get it, man. Calm down. Calm down, fam. Calm down, fam. This is crazy. I didn't expect this output to take this long. I didn't expect this output to take this long. I'm just waiting on Claude Code from Anthropic to be able to finish its review. And then once it's done, all right, I think I may need to close this and then open this back up because it's doing the same thing. All right, this is just part of the process. Sometimes we have our AI and it froze. Legit is freezing and it's spazzing right now. So what I'm going to do is just be like, all right, go ahead and close that out. Open up another terminal. Open up Claude Code again, still 4.5. Go back to that session. Are you serious? Okay. There is none. Are you cereal cake? That's crazy. All right. Um, hold on. This don't make no sense. Let's close. Let's close. Let's try this again. That's crazy. All right, whatever. 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 That's why we have our versions here. So I have version 1 and version 2. Read the backtest so you can gain context of it. Then we need you to review version 1 results. And here is V2. And let's begin the discussion once you have the context and understanding. Well, all right, sometimes you just got to be able, we just got to start over with our AI, and that's fine. That's just part of the process. That's why we know what's going on. I know what the hell this context is. Now I need you to do it. That's why I have my journal. I should have had you make this journal. I'm going to make our journal. Remember, every strategy is accompanied with a journal, a log, so we understand what the hell is going on. So I just have to make the log um for Bel Air so we can keep going. But don't worry, I am. All right, critical degradation from V1 to V2. V1 baseline 123 trades. The final balance is 145. V2 is only 2 trades. The final balance is 126. V1 baseline 63 trades. Final balance is 597. We lost 94%, right? Negative 94%. Then V3, right? We got a higher balance, 191%. V1 major issues: the catastrophic H2 collapse, lost 94% in the validation period, severe overfitting, training worked the training worked reasonably, and the validation completely failed. The account blown risk, the balance dropped to 597 from 100. The high trade frequency, the 186 trades with total with poor risk management. V2. All right, looking at your backtest parameters, remember what I'm going to change is the price threshold. V2 is the clear winner. Okay. We want to change the price threshold from 0.3 to 0.1 and gauge results. All right. I didn't ask you to do that. All right, now move these to V2. Update name to V2 price threshold 3%. All right, that's going to get moved. That's going to be beautiful. So we can just make sure we're staying organized. Let me activate our Conda environment. Remember, a Conda environment is a garage where you house all the Python libraries that you're going to need for the particular work that we're doing. And since we're doing option backtesting, we have a Conda environment that has all the Python libraries that we need for options. So I called it Option Baby. And then I'm going to run the backtest. Perfect. Now you can go over there and we're going to run our backtest. And we are running it now with version 3. Let's go ahead and put version 3. Price threshold 1%. Training new high. All right. Let's see what we're screaming. See. We just crossed 267. We're at 300. So we are at 429. So 429. What was it? No, 436. 436.35. 436.35. 436.35. And that's with the 1%. There's still a couple of things I'm going to adjust. But after this, I'm going to run it on 23. So I want to get a baseline for 23. And it's kind of, you really can't compare it because the baseline that we use for 21 are completely different parameters versus the baseline for 23. Or excuse me, for 24. Jit, are you gonna like let me? There you go. All right, so we're seeing better performance. So what I did, that price threshold adjustment, it did help, right? We're not sitting on the sidelines, but there is some more work that we can do. All right. So validation, new high. What is that? 481. No, let's go up here. Where is it? Final balance is 581.69. And this is with the 1% threshold, and this is with the 3% threshold. And put 3% price movement threshold. All right, we're Gucci. So let me just take a peek at the win rate. Is above 65%. Where's the Sharp ratio? Is 0.45, so that could be a bit better. But look at these. All right, let's go review and let's discuss. I just want to see it. So y'all see my process, right? How I go through the back test, how I'm able to modify it. And I know that there's Optuna, there's BT dot, there's different things that we can use in order to optimize, right? Or I rounded up. I was about to say, I can't do math, bruh, but I rounded up because of the 5. Because of the 5, I rounded up. What am I saying? But I like to optimize this way because we get to see, okay, if we adjust the price threshold, this what happens. If we adjust the volume, this what happens. And I understand it can be completely done for us, but I like doing it this way so you all can see, okay, we got the idea. Let's run the back test. Now we need to adjust based off the performance. Because I'm not going to hold you. We see the first performance of the V1, right? Like, are you going to quit here, right? Or you want to keep going, right? So I like where we're trending up. 13 times more trades, 13 more of execution, more over trading, risk in a live market. But just so you see these changes? I'm talking about work, bro. Oh my nut! I'm sorry. Massive trade volume increase, V1 12, V2 202, 13 times more. Lower threshold capture, more signals. No, so what do I want to do? Let's update so we can run on 2023 so we can get a baseline for that year. Is it one of those I just got to put okay, perfect. You had to change the year. I ain't asked you for all that. V4 or V3 2024 have to make the folder call it V3 V3 1% price threshold. So you see, I like to keep everything organized. So if I go look here, we got our baseline, we got our 3% price threshold. Now we're about to have our 1% price threshold, right? So like, all right, if I need to quickly reference it, I know like, okay, that's what's there. So 1% price threshold. Now we're about to have our baseline for 2023. This is like when it comes to coding, like you want to be organized because files could be the fuck everywhere. I.e., I mean, this was better, but I just got to a point. It's like, because look, same thing. But then I was just like, bruh, all right. But here, I'm going to show you how to do it. You have your results, right? Keep it organized. So you can like, all right, I have my version 1, I have my version 2, my version 3, and I can easily reference it. Okay, now we're on version 4. Let's run it. So you can see, you can type Python, and then this is Barrel Baby BT backtest.py, and it's going to run it for us. We have v4. What did I do here? What did we do? Oh, 2023 baseline. Training, new high. All right. We're getting our baseline. You don't need to see that. So let's get our baseline. Oh, when I say JIT is running, hold on. Y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see this. We're at 285, 300, 291. We're oscillating back and forth between like 290 and 350. Are we going to cross 400? Are we going to? Nope. That's fine. Let's look. Final balance is 401. 121 trades. 76% win rate. Sharp is it could be better. Okay. Boom. And then validation, new high. All right, let's see what we screaming. Let's see what we doing. Let's see how we. Man, we have our strategy. It's sliding, fam. Do you think we can get better in performance? We're at 250 right now. 271, 300. So we're oscillating back and forth between like 315, 370. Can we cross 400? Nope. That's fine. We're still in the 70s. We're still in the 70s for the win rate. So that's beautiful for 100 trades. So you were winning like 78, 79 trades, right? That's beautiful. I think, and this is just a theory, I think if we increase our TP ranges, we're going to have higher returns. So that's what I want to do. I want to increase our take profit ranges because remember, I lowered them. So V5 is going to be increase the TP ranges. Current, boom. Where are you? Where's take profit? Mid price. Oh, position sizing. Calculate. No. Option date. All right, bruh. All right, bruh. Where's the take profit? Maybe I just type it. I was trying to be cool and all. TP1. Okay. Damn it. Review and advise what are the take profit levels. And then I need you go ahead and get 2023 baseline. All right, go ahead and review and get the baseline results for 2023. You would make it seem like I asked you, what's the meaning of peace? Bruh, I just asked you. There we go. There we go. There we go. Current. And I think we can do better. I think we can do better. Boom. Calculate the win rate. Oh, you know why? Because I'm not giving it its I need to give it the metrics next time. The little output. I didn't give it the output. So that's why it's doing the math. So I'm gonna give it the output. So damn, Jit, we just started. You about to come. Bruh. All right. I want to have it update that I need to make. You need to make the journal. Because I'm not going to go another version without us having the journal. You need the journal. V1 2023 baseline. Call folder V1 baseline. Move. All right. All right. Win rate was sexy. Total returns is sexy. Total return is not. Wait. Am I tripping? How's the total return negative? H2 started with H1 ending balance of 401 and then ended with 368. Oh, got you. Most common exit was the 15% year over year. Small drawdowns. Conclusion. All right. This strategy shows consistency, mechanism, win rates. You're okay. I want to try. Let's go 80. Let's go 50, and then 25. So 0.8, 0.5, and then 0.25. Oh, that's new. So I guess I should have been like, oh, and then new. Beautiful. Excuse me. Really sorry about that. All right. All right. Now we want to test with updating the TP ranges review. And let's update. Boom. And then you need to make my journal, bro. You need to make my journal, homie. Am I tripping? There we go. Copy, paste, boom, boom. No, let's keep it at 2023. All right, all right, all right. All right, while we are running the backtest review and make a journal for Bel Air with what we learned and results from test. All right, so we can have that because remember, every strategy needs a journal, and we don't have one for Bel Air yet. So let's go ahead and get that journal made, get our back test ran. Okay, new high training. And remember, y'all remind me that I need to make sure that I copy the results and the metrics so I can send it over to JIT when it has it. I'll create, okay, perfect. Now work mix and work mix. Oh, brah. My theory is that if we're able to win with these levels, let's try with higher levels and let's see what it's screaming. Let's see what it's screaming. I remember I need to grab this. All right. And then what's the high? 402.12. 402.12. 402.12. 402.12. Perfect. Bro, you still going? Oh, you going compact. You definitely going to compact. I'm just going to paste this here for right now. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And then we're going to put new high validation. Validation. Dang. Maybe. Kind of. Probably. Maybe. Kind of. Probably. Maybe. Kind of. Probably. Maybe. Kind of. Oh, I'm supposed to check the win rate. Oh, win rate dropped a little bit. Um, win rate did drop a little bit. Did you make the log yet? Oh, I was about to say you made the log. I hope you compacted and you're ready to go. 335, 77. Now remember, I need to grab. Wait, let me get this one first, because this is the first one. See, I told you it was gonna compact. All right, just go ahead and compact. Let me drop you here. Compacting means it's taking the previous conversation and then it's loading it into a memory so it can get started with our new little conversation here. Our back test finished. Boom. And then we are here. I'm ready to copy that and give that to you. All right. Once you're done, man, let's look at that's Meanie Bear. Don't need you. That was my little reference. And then let's come here. Let's look at our log. Strategy, SPY 0, DTE, momentum, scalping. When did we start? Oh, I think it's good. I think it's ready. Are you ready? No. Yes, you are. Okay. Let me. I ain't asked you to run it, bro. I already did it. Bruh. Review results and then let's discuss. I already did it, bruh. I don't even know. Did it get better or did it get worse? Oh, yeah, now I know that increased, but the full year performance, full year 232% returns. V2, the performance decreased by 32 points. Um, win rate decreased. Hypothesis is the aggressive targets did not capture more profit. Instead, they caused more trades to exit. And okay, that didn't work. So, but I think we can get a little bit more aggressive here, bro. I want to try 60. So, shit. And then V6 TP ranges optimization. So this is the current, and then that's not the current. This is the current. Let's put current slash optimal. Current. I want to try. Let's try. What do you all think? What do you all think? Let me go to 60 here. So that's only a 10%, 10 percentage points increase. Then I'm going to go to, what was that, 30? That was 30. So then let me go to 35 here. Right, so that's only a 5% percentage increase, and I'm gonna keep it at 25 because, bro. Okay, take profit at 60%. Okay, let's try 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and 12. Let's try this. Let's try this. All right, let's try and keep it at 2023. We are attempting to optimize gain. Okay, 5, 8, 65. Okay, perfect. I ain't actually do that. I ain't actually do that. I ain't actually do that. I just actually do one thing. This is V2 2023. V2 TP ranges increase. Move to 2023 folder. All right, you're going to get moved, and now we're ready to run the backtest. All right, while I'm running the backtest, hold on. New high, training. While I'm running the backtest, please update the log. While we are running the backtest, update the log with what we learned from recent tests. These are like, I've not seen any explosive moves yet. Like all of our winnings are under $10. I mean, yeah, it adds up. Shit. I could show you something that'll like shock you. But let's see where this is going. All right, perfect. So we have, boom, let's paste you. It's 402.14. 402.12. We made two cents more, bro. Oh, you know what? Damn, I'm supposed to check the win rate. What was the little win rate? I Are you gonna tell me here? Are you gonna tell me? Of course not. Traits summary. Of course not. All right. Huh. Mhm. Mhm. 62%, 63%. It's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. Um. Okay. What we're doing. I love when like everything just work for you. Yeah, Zimmy. Review and let's discuss. So what was it? Tree 3577. New validation high. Tree charities. That's the same thing. Ba-dum. The same problem. Okay. All right. Let me look at the parameters. Let's look at these parameters real quick. Let me look at the parameters real quick. Okay. We're looking at 3 minutes. Let me try let's try 2 minutes. Let's try a 2-minute look back. Um bruh. All right. Do we consider this? I mean, it's a 60. Hmm. Time stops didn't improve for V3 aggressive. The win rate crashed from 77 to 62. Time stop didn't improve from V3 aggressive targets. Barely used. TP doubled. Captured early moves. So I'm going to use a mixed one. Whereas 35%. Okay. All right. We are going to update the TP parms to 50, 35, 35, and 15. That's fine. And then also, I want to, instead of a 3 minute, let me try 5 minute. Or do you want to do faster? And then also, let's update the look back from 3 candles to 2 candles. All right. 2023 V3 TP ranges moderate. Uh, move to 2023 folder. All right. Update journal while we run backtest. Perfect. So what is this? V Sam TP ranges and look back. New training high. That's funny. I thought it was running. That's funny. I thought it was running. All right. New training high. 50, 35, 15, and then 3 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes, because we're at 3 minutes right now. 2 minutes. All right, let's see what you're screaming. Let's see what you're screaming. I'm gonna try max hold time of 15 minutes now too. TB 10, 12. Okay. 281. So I mean, we win rate is back in the 70s. Sharp is still, it could be better. What is it? 281.69. 281.69. 281.69. 281.69. 281.69. And then new validation high. Okay, so this one did help it. Um, hmm. First time we seen 500, 600. Oh, 1,000. We had 1,300. Look at that, 1,400. That's crazy. 92% win rate? That means every trade you took, you damn near won. And you made $1,000 for me. Hey, talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. $1,559.87. I'm going to take these parameters and we're going to go run it on 2024 now. And we're going to see what's really good. We're going to see what's really good. Review and let's discuss. And then I'm going to copy you. Training went down. Validation said, thank you. So V8, testing on 2028, above parms. You saw that too? 2 bars. I want to try 1 bar now, bruh. H2 is too suspicious. H1 got worse. Kept, keep. No, update so we can test on 2024. Shit. Thank you. You know what's up. Don't even try to run it because you know that's my job. So what is this? V4 TP ranges. TP ranges and look back 2023. All right, so that's running. You didn't move it. Move the files, bro. um, update the log while we run the backtest. Okay. Let's see. New training high. What is it? What is it? Ain't no pressure though. It's oscillating back and forth between like 280 and like 350. So we crossed, what is it? 77% win rate. Okay, we still sliding. 436.71. 436.71. 436.71. 436.71. New validation high. All right, so let's see what the validation period is going to do. And remember, we split up the year. First 6 months of the year, we're training the strategy. Back 6 months of the year, we're validating the strategy. And we're running it on 2024. We just finished up 2023, and we're running it on 24 to be able to see how these new parameters we just updated with the TP ranges and the look back is how I'm going to do. I want to try 1 minute and gauge the results. Oh, look at that. 80% win rate. Shocking. 727.88. 727.88. Shocker. Shocking, fam. Shocking. All right, and then, damn it, bro. When I said you lazy fuck, I need you to do one job. One job, bro. So you copied it. You didn't move it. You. Damn, it has 2023. This jit copied it and did not move it. I could cuss you out. I can cuss you out. All right, so this was a check. It's not production ready. I still got a couple things I want to do. Like I still have a couple things I want to try. I'm not satisfied with this yet. Some people may be, right? But I'm not satisfied with this yet. I still have a couple things I want to try. So calm down. Calm down. I mean, this is just the optimization part, right? So our stop loss right now is 20%. There's 20. What if I go to 25? So let me see if I make the stop loss 25. Hold on. What is the current risk reward ratio? Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Damn, it's about to compact again. I feel like we ain't even work hard yet. All right. Um, the full year best trade was 56%, worst trade was 47. The average winning was 44%. Stop loss is 20. So the risk reward ratio is two. We're risking $2 to make one. Wait. The high frequency and high win rate strategy is not a high RR strategy. The strategy wins. Okay. All right. So let me just forget that for right now. We want to test the stop loss of 25% instead of 20. Let's update and test. Keep it at the same year. That's crazy though. This is version 4. Move. Do not copy, but move these files to 2024 v4. Need to make the folder. Call it v4 tp. Remember what it was? TP ranges and look back. What the hell are you doing? Oh, you're updating the journal. Did you update the backtest yet? Ah, so you learned. You learned, and then you update the journal. I love when you listen to me. I love when you learn. All right, so let's run our backtest now. Bitch, you didn't do. What the hell are you doing, man? So you are copying it and not moving it. So what I'm going to do, because you're not listening to me anymore, I got to get a new one. I got to get a new AI, man. All right, so this is V9. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Snap. What are we doing? Oh, risk. Stop loss at 25% instead of 20%. New high. I should note that I'm testing on 24. All right. Let's see. I just have a little inkling to see if we give the strategy more room, right, instead of tightening it. If we give it more room, what is it going to do with it? Is it going to give us back more profit, right? Or is it going to give less back? So if it's going to give less, then I'm going to put you back to 20 because 20 is shown that that's optimal. I can work with 20. But if I'm giving you more room and you losing the money, it's like, all right, bruh, we need to consider this. Okay. 425.71. 425.71. So we lost money. So I think I'm going to stay where I'm at. 425.71. New validation high. So I think I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm not going to hold y'all. I mean, the win rate is high. Sharp is a little bit better. I think I'm going to stay where I'm at. So let's see what the validation is screaming. What's the validation screaming? Let's see what the validation is screaming. Can we get past the, what was it, 727.88? Can we get past the 727.88? What do y'all think? High or low? I don't know. I think 10 cents lower. $10 lower. $10 lower. Bruh. Damn, it's a lot lower. I don't like this one. Nah, that's. I'm gonna go back to my original plan and just test the 1 minute. Cause this is not where it's at. Review and let's discuss. Yeah, this is not where it's at, homie. What was it? 481.75? No, this is not where it's at. We're going back to 20. Thumbs down. Yeah, thumbs down. It's really not. Um all right, let's go back to the 20% risk stop loss, and we want to test a 1 minute look back. But doesn't make sense if you're looking back 1 minute. No, that doesn't make sense. Let me just test it. Test a 1 minute look back instead of 2 minutes. All right. So what is that telling me? I'm checking a 1 minute look back. So instead of going back 2 bars, we're going back 1 bar. Is there a breakout? No, go. Okay, is there a breakout? Okay, go. Right. So let's see. So before I was using 2, now I'm using 1. So let's see. Oh, you're updating the log. Man, I love you. Love you. I forgot you understand the rules of the game. You understand the rules of the game, homie. Oh, there's no foul call V. All right. I told you I had to get a new one because the other one wasn't listening. Move these files here and create a V5 folder and move them there. Wait, this doesn't make sense. There's no breakout? Oh, because it's 1 minute. That makes sense. I'm not even gonna do that. All right. V5. Okay. Yeah, the 1 minute don't make no sense. Cause yeah, it don't make no sense. Cause there's nothing to compare it to. All right. What else are we doing? What else are we doing? We're at 2 minutes now, so 2 minutes is optimal. Strike distance, we have that. Position size, I'm not changing. Is the momentum? No, because I would have seen that. Oh, let me do a 15 minute 15 minute hold time. Yeah, let me do the 15 minute hold time. All right. All right. Let's not do that test. Let's move back to 2 minute look back, and we want to update the max hold time to 15 minutes. Now we need to change the TP for this as well. So which one? Which one did we test? Is it this one? No. Which one was it, bro? Is it? It's this one, right? Okay, we're doing 55, 35, 15, and 2-minute look back. So I can visualize it. Okay. V, what is this, 10? This is 10. 10, max hold time to 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And directly impact TP as well. All right, so do I just want to keep it? Okay, just move that to 15. Do I always want to do that? Do we just want to do that? Yeah. So what is this? 55, right? It's 55. Oh, it's 50. I thought I did 55. Wait, what's the TP level? It's 50. We did 35 there. Okay. All right, it's 50. 50. What is it? 15? You tell me it's 15. It is 15. 15, 8. So I still want to do that? Yeah. Should I give it 5 minutes or 3 minutes? Should I do 8, 12, 15 or 8, 10, 15? There is, okay, I think I want to do this one. And then I will test the 12. So 8, there's 4 minutes and there's 3 minutes in between them. Instead of having it being, there was 2 minutes and then there was a bigger gap here. So yeah, let's do that. All right, let's proceed to test. Update V5 folder name to, where is it? You don't got to update the log, but if you do, I get it, but you don't have to. Whoa. All right. Bruh. V5 TP ranges and look back. That's all the fuck you had to do. Weirdo. Little weirdo. New training high. If y'all do have any questions while we are working, please fem cornet. If you don't, I'm just going to keep working. This is my process when it comes to creating set strategy. So the theory here is if we give it more time, are you going to make more money? If you don't need more time, I'll take that time back, right? Um 423.71. 423.71. What is the win rate? 78%. 423.71. Bro, you lost. 423.71. New validation high. All right, I'm not going to hold you. I'm probably going to do one more back test. Then we're going to. This is going to be a good stopping point. And then we're going to run it back maybe later today or tomorrow. And I haven't decided if I'm going to be on YouTube or Twitch yet. But nonetheless, y'all fuck with me, man. We're doing a lot of great work. You all are seeing my process. You're seeing how we went from a trash strategy to one that's a little bit more comparable. We can update this and we can tune it so it can work for us. Is it going to make 481.75? Did you cross that? Barely. All right, this is not where it's at. Um, what is that? 472.33. This is not where it's at. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point, right? We're gonna have this jit compact anyway. Update. Okay. Boom. Boom. So let's just show y'all. This is review and let's discuss. Yeah, after this, this is going to be our stopping point. Again, we did a lot of great work today. You all were able to see being able to germinate the idea, research the idea, build out the strategy. Now we're back testing our strategy before we run it. Tomorrow, we are going to have bots running again tomorrow. I do have to do some audit work. So maybe I'll come back on and show you all the audit work that I have to do for the bots based on what we've seen today. And also being able to finish out this scalping one. I mean, it's looking promising, right? I'm not going to hold you. There's no overfitting. There's no bias. You see how we're going from year to year, and there's great performance. Bruh, 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 bruh. Yep. All right. Let's go back to the 12 minutes and the regular TP ranges. All right, 2 bar, tighter, wider. That was trash. Yeah, this is going to be a good stopping point. We learned a lot today about the strategy. Tomorrow I'm going to freak a couple more things out so we can have a little bit more edge on the strategy. I don't care what it says. This is not finalized and validated. I still have a lot more work to do because again, we're trying to get a little bit more alpha out of this strategy. I mean, there's a 1400% return, 80% win rate. 2024, 628% return, 78% win rate, right? So average is 1,044% win rate. The reason it's 1,000 because you have this 400% over here. I'm not completed. I still have more to do. So this is a good stopping point. We're going to be back a little bit later. If you all do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave it in the comments, and then I will answer them accordingly. It's your boy Creative. We'll be back with another episode.